Welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will continue where we left off in part 6. We are now on part 7 of our creating a UI app to connect to our Ocean, the backend Ocean. The only thing I'm gonna apologize for is that you are seeing VS Code here because Acquia is the IDE I was using. Fortunately, Acquia has been there's no support for it anymore. They've stopped supporting it, and if you install it, you cannot activate it with in a personal section. I don't know if you can activate it as a work, but I suspect you cannot do that anymore as a purchase product. And but I haven't looked into it, so don't take my word for it. But you cannot activate it for personal use anymore. So I have gone back to VS Code, and it seems to be okay for me for now, right? So we are gonna continue where we left off in part 6. So this is part 7. Stay tuned. Right, so this method, I'm going to explain it a bit more. So this param, I've already showed you the get item param, and this is what we need to provide to the backend when we are fetching stuff from the backend, right? So this particular method, now I'm fetching the card data for the logged in user. Yeah, it is an async method because it needs to do some work with the backend, talk to the backend, and bring some work in there. In the initially is set up to false, but at this point we turn it into true at this point. So when we first call this method, it is now set to true. Okay, so this bit indicates that it needs to start a network request, and then we use this to help us show the loading span or message in the UI while the cart loads. Okay, and then I've already explained that we need all these parameters to fetch the data into from the cart. So with this one, where we are using we are making a call to the cart controller service, we can essentially making sure that we subscribe to the observable to get the response. Otherwise we won't get the response that we want. So once we've got everything and loaded everything, we will then set the loading flag back to false, right? The loading flag, if there's any error, the loading flag is set back to false again if there is an error. So that's what this particular method is for. So far we don't have any problems, but obviously we need to log in, and we need to do all that stuff from the backend. Okay, so this is the one that is working. So let's now log in into this particular one. Yeah, npm start, and it's going to ask us to, do we want a different port? We say yes. Yeah, so we need to bring in all the stuff, and we've brought in some of them but not all. Okay, so we need to make sure that this particular module is in our component, because otherwise we can use the if ng if. So if we go into the HTML, we are using ng if around places, like for example here, and this ng if is used, it's an if statement basically. So we're saying that if it is if it is logged in, then we are if it's not logged in, then allow this button to show so that the user can log in. Here we're saying that if it is logged in, then we show all these stuff to the thing. So we will enable selling, purchase, bidding, all the links under the shopping cart. So we only when it's logged in do we show that particular link. We need the mg4 and the ng and all that stuff. So I'm gonna copy that one in. I've already explained what the if statement for. We also have 4 statements. And all these are modules that needs to come in from the Angular common. And any link routes that we have here, that would also cause us problems if we don't. This is for the search bar, and this is for the profile. We need to make sure that we are logged in. Once we are logged in, we show the username in here. We say welcome so and so, and then so once we are logged in, we want to show this button, which is the profile, and we have a UL list of where we can edit our profile, and then we can log out under this particular dev. If we are not logged in, we are allowed the button to log in. If we are logged in, we show all these as well. If we are not logged in, if we are logged in, and we will show the log out button as well. Yeah. So this is why when we look through the cart item of cart items, we are using a for loop, and if we don't have that there, then it won't work. Okay, then we have problems. In the Keycloak service, then we need the user profile, which we've already created here. So we need to make a call to that method, get user profile inside here, that we need to call out. Get the user profile from the Keycloak, and it will give you all the information about the user, email address, username, basically all the information here that we've spoken about already. It will bring it in, and then this get user profile is basically what we are logging. So when we log in, right, when we log in with Keycloak login, we are getting the user profile, and if something is not right, then we log it into the console that login has failed. We need to do something better than this, but we will get that there. When we need to log out of Keycloak, we redirect the user back to our system. Once we call the Keycloak logout, because we are using the Keycloak logout to log out, we then make a call to the backend, and I will show you in a minute. Then we clear the storage. So right now we put stuff into the storage so we can use it. That's the local storage. The local storage is, if we can show that one here, in this local storage we store a whole lot of stuff, including anything that we've stored here. We clear it. We store a whole lot of stuff, cookies and stuff like that. The location is also reloaded. What's the location? Right. So the local storage is all written here in Angular, so you don't need to worry about it. But the local storage is cleared, and this one is cleared, and it's all linked to, that's what I just showed. This is the local storage. If you want to see what items is stored in the local storage, if you wanted to store the user details and all that in the local storage, we could, but Keycloak manage all these for us, so we don't need to do this thing. What happened? So we don't need to do this thing. Localhost. Okay. So now we can't run this one because we're still trying to fix the problem. What else do we need? I'm gonna close this down again. Right, and then now that we have all the method, that I think we have all the method, we got the logout, login. This is what we saw in the complaint. We also have this toggle cart, which I'm gonna explain in a minute. I'm gonna put this what it's expecting, which is this one. Lookout boolean, the show cart object for boolean will show the cart. You know, when we click on the button and then we want to show the cart, so this is there. So let me show you where this toggle, just types for toggle. I think the best thing to show is to show this thing in the thing. So we got option. Okay, we can run it. Can we run it now? Is everything okay? Can we run it now? So we can show. Yeah, we can run it. 50660. 5066 localhost 50660. Is it gonna show us what we need, or is it an error? There is an error. Okay, there is an injectable error. No provider for HTTP clients. Okay, so that is understandable. It's true. So now we got all the things that we need, but then we need to explain what this is. So I'm gonna explain it, and then we're gonna inject the HTTP client, and I'll show you what I finally found what I was looking for, the toggle cart. So this toggle cart is associated the cart item button. When we click on it, we are showing the details. When we click off it, it closes. Okay, so let me explain it properly. When it is loading, it shows, if it's loading, then it's showing loading. If it is not loading, an item cart items dot length is greater than 0, then we loop through the cart items, and then we show the details of the product name, the product or item name, item quantity. We show the price as well in our cart. We can remove it if we want, and then we show the total, the stop total that we were talking about. If it's not loading and the cart item length is equal to 0, then obviously there are no items in the cart. So at the moment we can see there are no items in the cart. Let's take a look. Right now we've got to fix this problem, but I just wanted to show you what the quick explanation for using that toggle, and I finally found I was looking for. There's a lot of toggles here, but yeah, the toggle cart method, which is in the navbar component, this bit, that's what we are actually showing, we're using it for. So we show the cart and we show it off, and we click off and it shows. This problem, we need to add it to our app config. All right guys, I'm gonna end the app here. We will pick it up on the next one, so see you then. Thanks for watching.